babes? It's Kellyanne again with the Spiritpreneur Portal. I want to talk about the kinds of things that we need in order to make sure that the stuff that we're super passionate about, we're really excited about, gets to happen, and that we don't have to give up eventually and end up quitting because we did all the right things on the front end, okay? So the first thing that I learned from my failure with the Divine Chaos course is that I didn't ask other people if they wanted it. With any service, product, anything that you want anybody else to be a part of, you need their excitement. You need their enthusiasm. You need their celebration of, yes, somebody's bringing this thing into the world. Of course I want to be a part of this. That's why a lot of course creators talk about not actually even creating a course until other people have paid for it. And that's because that shows buy-in. What you want is to talk with your audience and make sure that you are getting that buy-in, that you are asking them, what do you need, and then providing it. The trap that I fell into was, I only want to do what feels good for me. And so I have thousands of ideas as a person with ADHD, as a creator with ADHD, as a creative, empathic person. I have so many ideas for how to help other people and how to create a space wherein growth and healing can happen. I know that that is my service, and that is one of the things that I bring to this world. And for that reason, I was like, I'm just going to keep doing the thing that has helped a lot of people and has made change in their lives and helped them to become more themselves. And the Divine Chaos course was originally something that helped many people for a specific reason. And as the reason evolved, I think my clarity around what this course was about got confused. And I think also the intentions that I had got confused, because not only was I excited about the mentorship potential for working with speakers, because that's what I've been doing for the past few years as I've been doing this, is every time I have collaborators and fellow speakers within the course, I mentor them and I help them to refine their workshops and to pinpoint what kind of resource would very beautifully pair and match with the kind of topic that they are addressing. And while I'm very good at that, and that's why I wanted to do it again, because it feels good to do the things that you're good at, I also wasn't really thinking so much about what was going to come out of it on the other side and who was benefiting from it other than me and the speakers in the course. And even then, I didn't ask the speakers that I invited, do you need mentorship? I told them, this is what I'm doing. Welcome if you want to come. It's not the best way to do things. And honestly, as I sit here talking about it, I feel a little embarrassed. I feel a little sense of like humility over doing things in such a way that, like, if I heard somebody else doing it that way, I'd be like, ooh, I would be like, wow, that's whoa. I would have some pretty yuck feelings toward it, because the energy of inviting needs to be open and flexible, and allow people to show up as they are, but also know what they're showing up to and be able to agree to the mutual benefit of everybody's needs being met through the showing up for the invitation. Doesn't really feel good when you show up for something and it's completely different than you expected. And I don't think it was completely different than what my speakers expected, the people that I invited to create workshops and be scheduled to give these workshops throughout the course. But I do think that it was a little different from what they expected, and different enough that I failed to give them a real understanding of what I wanted to give and what I wanted to get from this whole experience. Same for the audience, same for the people who are following me on Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube or the podcast, the Vibrant Coven podcast, or within the Vibrant Coven. I didn't take the time to sit down and say, hey y'all, this is something that I really want to do. Are you interested in this? What part about this excites you? And what do you feel like you need right now? What do you feel like you would want and feel good about investing in? Because spiritual growth and personal growth is a luxury investment in the white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalist environment in which we are forced to live, essentially, being broke and not being able to move anywhere else. And then if you do move anywhere else, I mean, hey, they're a part of the system too. So within this environment, it feels like a luxury to do anything like the Divine Chaos course, anything like any other spiritpreneur might be providing at a time like this, when the growing and the healing and the shadow work and the inner child, like, deep dives, the dark nights of the soul, feel like something that we don't necessarily have the time, money, or energy for. With that being said, there are people who want to invest in those things. There are people who have the time, money, and energy. And if it's the right thing, if it's the thing that excites them, if it's the thing that they agree, yes, I need this and we need this right now, and being a part of a group thing or an individual thing or buying a product that helps me do this thing and helps me show up with other people to do this thing, knowing that we're all going to be doing this thing, that feels good for me. If that is something that I can invest in right now, then it's a hell yes for me. I didn't cultivate a hell yes with the other people that I wanted to be a part of this. I just felt my own hell yes, and I hit the ground running. That's kind of what a Virgo moon does. We kind of just we feel good about something, and then we're like, I'm just going to plan it. I am just going to plan a party. And it doesn't matter if I've asked other people if they want to come to this party. It doesn't matter if the theme kind of throws people off or makes people afraid to show up, because let's be real, the Divine Chaos course is a place that's only certain people will show up in. I just started planning and structuring, and if you're like me, then you might have your own way of jumping into things before you're really ready. And I think the lesson here is, as a service provider, as a product creator, as a creative and an entrepreneur, Your duty is your duty. Your duty is to connect with the people that would be using your products, that need the services that you could render for them, and find out what they want. Discover what it is that would really enhance their lives in the way that you could show up for them. I think I was conflating asking other people what they want and what they need with being forced to do something for other people that I wasn't excited about, or do something that what isn't in my wheelhouse just so I could make money, and make money helping other people. Making money and helping other people are things that I want to do, but ultimately as a creator, I want to be creating things that excite me. In 11:11, I want to be creating things that excite my ass. So if I am only focused on me, then the we never happens. And if I'm only focused on y'all, then the people pleasing shows up, and the desperation shows up, and the perfectionism, and the self-doubt, and the self-sabotage, and the imposter syndrome show up. Starting with the we, saying these are the things that I like to do, and what are the things that y'all need, and finding that space on that Venn diagram of I can support what you need with these things that I love to do and that I'm probably already doing, or that I already have a product for, or a product idea for. I mean, that's where the best, most magic-y magic happens. That's where the sweet spot is between what I love to do and what you need from me. That was a big step that I skipped, a big lesson that I learned, and I hope that by sharing this with y'all, it's not just like a real quick, like, one of the things that I'm not about is like the well put together videos of like, here's what you have to do and go and do it. Like, ask your audience. They might give you methods, but I'm going to give you like the real vulnerable, transparent stories behind the fuck ups that happen when you don't do these things. And yeah, I'll have suggestions for what to do or how to do it in the future. But ultimately, I'm going to be real with y'all in this space. I'm going to be raw and share in this portal from my chaos place, and not from such an organized, structured, list-making, place, but from a, well, here's how I failed, or here's how I succeeded. Here's what I'm celebrating. Here's a story of when I really needed to turn things around and I didn't, and what came out of that, because I want you to notice when you need to turn things around and then fucking do it. Because you remember and you learn from other people's mistakes, and you receive the wisdom of other people's stories. That is what I hope to share here, and that's what I hope that you've received from my telling of this story and my sharing of this failure, because I realized I need failures on my resume in order to start succeeding big time. But I also want other people to not feel as alone as I did in the failure. Other people don't come on and make lists from a place of, I failed at this, and that's why I do things this way now. They come from a place of, here's how to do it perfectly, and spot on every time. That doesn't feel right to me. And there's a place for that, but there's also a need for sharing from a place of, yeah, that sucked. Let's make mistakes together, okay? If they are the Bill Nye, the science guy, I am the Miss Frizzle. I am the, let's make mistakes. Let's get messy. Let's take chances. And I'm taking a chance on showing you and sharing with you all of my risks and all of my mess, because I think you're worth it. And I think this lesson, all the lessons that I've learned since quitting my corporate job and showing up here consistently, all of these lessons are worth sharing and are worth a lot more than maybe a webinar might be. Maybe even a little playbook that is a template that, you know, could help you fill in the blanks. I think hearing personal experiences, and I hope you learn this in your journey too, and in your, you know, creative endeavors and your entrepreneurial journey. I hope this gives you the courage to show up with your transparency, because that was one of the things that I did to get myself out of a dark hole and out of a dark space. So that'll be my next video. But if transparency and learning that transparency can be humbling, but also really healing and really connective, then that is so worth the share. Come and build community with me if that feels good for you. Come and get a card reading with me if that feels good for you. The Vibrant Coven and my website are both linked in the caption below, so go and check either or both of those out if you would like some clarity and a card reading or a mediumship reading is calling to you. I will soon be, and here's what I'm doing. I'm doing the thing that I just said that I need to do. I am asking now, would y'all like a clarifying session? Because for creators, for fellow creators, and the speakers in my course, I stumbled on something that was very cool, and I'll probably do a video about this as well. But I stumbled on something that was very cool that people were giving me like immensely positive feedback about, and they were clarifying sessions where we sit together on Zoom, you talk out your shit, you just blah, 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 just dump, and I sit there on mute, and I have the whiteboard app up on Zoom, and I am writing out notes, and I am creating visual connections between the things that you're saying so that you can get really clear on what it is that is upsetting you, that's bothering you, that is overwhelming you, that is something that you want to create but you're not sure how to go about it, or you're not sure which of your strengths you should employ for that particular thing. I mean, there are just so many ways that this thing is helpful and has been helpful for me. Just realized that I left a pan on and might have just burnt my burnt my menstrual cup because I forgot to set a timer for something because ADHD. Let me know if a clarifying session sounds good for you or feels good for you. It would be a service that I would start providing if y'all tell me in the comments that that is something that you would be into. I have gotten, like I said, really good feedback from this, and I'll be sharing that feedback in future videos. But for now, I would just love to see if it's something that, ooh, like that tickles something within me, that I've got a little pickle that is being tickled by that thing. Let me know. Also, let yourself feel really good about this time that you just gave yourself. Let yourself celebrate the immense wonder that is you giving yourself permission to tune into something that was a message, that was a transparent story that you really needed, that hopefully inspired you, hopefully gave you some insight into the ways that you've been showing up, and helps you to feel less alone. Because like I said, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this, is to make you feel less alone. And also to hopefully share the wisdom in this portal that may help you make fewer mistakes in the future. You still gotta make your own mistakes. I'm not gonna keep you from doing that. But you may make fewer mistakes, or you make mistakes that, or fail in ways that don't last as long, or don't feel quite as bad, because you'll remember this. And you'll feel like, somebody who appears to have their shit together really doesn't. And isn't that great? Isn't that great that I don't have to have my shit together, even if I would like to appear as though I do? I like that. I like that for you. Love that for you. And I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.